So Isabel Walcott Draves, did I pronounce that correctly, Isabel?
Yes.
From Creative Tech Week. Come on up.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Julia. It's nice to meet you.
Hi, Julia. Hey,
there,
Jeff.
Jeff. Nice to meet you, sorry.
How are you?
All right, how are you? So,
From
Creative
Donald
Tech
Trump
Week.
to me.
Oh,
To you.
yeah.
Sorry,
Bring
bad
us,
act of
bring
fun.
us some good stuff. Bring us the optimism and light and happiness of the Creative Tech Week. Bring us creativity and joy as opposed to where we were. Let's Voldemort Donald Trump.
Clear the table.
Yeah, he's done. He's done.
So, what is Creative Tech Week? Tell us about it.
Well, it is definitely light and joy, as you just mentioned. It has been an amazing, so far, I think it's been 8 days. We have 2 days left. It's a 10-day festival that we have been planning for a year and a half. We have taken over the city. We're in all 5 boroughs, and it's 450 different events that are all at the intersection of creativity and technology in some way.
How many? 450?
450 different events, over 400 partners and experts participating across creative technology in different fields. So business, B2B, advertising, community, STEM and STEAM, getting more kids and adults involved in education around tech through the arts, and then museum quality art and performance.
Yeah.
So creative technology really reaches across into a lot of different industries. And it's a great way for people to enjoy technology beyond the sort of problem set mathematical person. But hey, you know, if you're an arts person, you can now be really into tech also.
Mm-hmm. I feel like it's issuing back during the Renaissance that they had like the wonder cabinets where it was like art and science were the same sort of discipline, and like it's a time when like an artist and a scientist, the definitions of either it was totally blurred, and that there were incredible feats of like bizarro engineering and like thinking about wonder, really, like considering wonder as a part of, like taking it seriously and really like moving from that
Da Vinci,
place.
damn it.
Yeah, man.
It is definitely about invention. It's about passion and the kind of love that can make somebody work on something often for no pay, because as we all know, the arts aren't usually until somebody is really established, the arts just aren't a place where you're going to be generating that much revenue.
We know how that feels in journalism.
Yeah, same.
But people, it brings people together, and they're making very oftentimes conceptually interesting things. A lot of creative technology work falls into the research classification. Some of it is just plain beautiful. There are things that are fun.
So
like
what were some of the
games.
surprises? What wowed you during the week?
You know,
I know you have no favorite children,
yeah.
but
and I do have to be careful about that because truly everybody is great. But I am going to say that I was surprised by some of the virtual reality that I saw. So you hear this VR buzzword, and sometimes it can get sort of commercial. I saw some virtual reality in art that was mind-blowing. Some very simple. So we're partnering with an organization called the Lumen Prize, and they had an exhibition. It's a global award for digital art. They had an exhibition at one of our partners, St. Francis College in Brooklyn. And one of the pieces that was one of their award-winning pieces was a simple VR piece. You see a golden cube. It's based on the New Jerusalem, the city of the New Jerusalem, as described in the Book of Revelations. And I have to say, I'm not really a religious person.
Me neither.
But you put this headset on, and you're in the middle of this cube, which has a sort of architectural and city type of feel, although it's abstract art. You're not literally seeing buildings. And you look around, and no matter where you turn, you see this sort of repeating pattern. And then you look up, and it's just a big white star at the top. And this was a moving experience in an art gallery setting with a thing on my head. And it's easy to be dismissive of VR, like, oh, and it is kind of a big trend right now.
Right.
But I truly thought this was amazing. It was, and I've had multiple transformational experiences like this throughout the week because the level of creativity that people are reaching with the insertion of some of these new technologies is pretty impressive.
So, we had Javier Molina here last week, who was also presenting at the festival on VR. The whole notion of a gallery and VR, it seems like, does what happened to the library, thanks to the internet, almost seems like it starts to happen to the gallery in a world of VR, with VR art. You don't need to be in a place, do you?
That is where I would really and truly disagree, actually. Because one of the points, in fact, I can even say the whole point of starting Creative Tech Week is to bring people together in the same place to see what other people are doing, to meet each other, to showcase the work, to meet people that they wouldn't have otherwise met, maybe for a new partnership, or maybe somebody's going to get to hire new talent from this, or maybe someone's going to get a gig because of this, or someone's going to change their educational path or their career path because of these meetings. We've had performances, we've had talks, we've had panels, and the thing that they all have in common is that there are people there who are meeting each other. Mm-hmm. So you can have a solitary experience with a screen, or you can go somewhere and meet people and have an experience and share it. And in fact, this piece that I'm referring to, there was actually a Franciscan brother at the gallery because St. Francis is a Franciscan college, and he was even wearing his robes. And I said to him, "You've got to come and check this out. Have you ever tried VR? This is pretty great." Mm-hmm. And so, here was this guy with attire from another century, and putting the VR thing on.
I hope there was a selfie of that.
I mean, honestly, though, the thing that, like, the weirdest thing about humans is that you never, there is no way of substituting people being physically present and interacting with each other in a room together.
So,
and I really
don't. How do you mix that? I agree with all this.
Right.
I'm just being provocative. But how do you mix that with now I'm going to leave the room basically and go on in this solo experience and then come back? I don't know we've figured out the norms of that behavior yet, have we?
I think it's a tough question. I think that you can always say with new technological developments that they could take us in the wrong direction. I am a big believer in the fact that as people, we have to look for ways to not let that happen.
Amen.
It even goes back to, I don't want to bring Trump up again, but the political system can take us in the wrong direction. If we let it take us there, it can. If we say we're above that and we're not going that way, if you can have some people from the Republican Party, as I believe they are, standing up for human rights and civil rights and saying we're just not going to go down this bad path, I believe in the power of people. So, yes, we could all be heading for this dystopian future where everybody just sits alone in a dark room with their VR headset on, eating pills for food. Let's hope not.
They're called pellets.
Sorry. It's the wrong term.
It's called Soylent.
Sorry. We've had really some incredible performances, incredible music experiences, right. Incredible learning experiences, and there are things going on that you just don't know unless you've gotten a chance to discover this. There's a guy a little bit north of here at a place called Wave Farm, and he submerges microphones into a pond. And you hear these sort of pond noises. What is the noise of a pond when people are not around? We have little, frogs croaking and the ripple of the water and other clicks.
Trolls
and,
under the bridge.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. And then he puts it on the radio. It's a radio station.
I've heard of this.
You can tune in and listen to the
I've
underwater
heard of this.
pond.
Submerging. I'm an audio person ultimately, and the way it's a contact microphones, all kinds. You can extract sound from a lot of different things because sound travels by vibrations, and these But it's a beautiful project. One thing that I think is really interesting about projects like Creative Tech Week is like, we think tech, we're like, fast. How can we go fast and make the money the fastest? Usually that's what every startup founder says, actually. It's little known. But the metabolism of it is so interesting. Like forcing people to, or not forcing, but like inviting people to slow down their metabolism in terms of how they're taking something in. You said there are two things that you said, you said there's a cube and there's a star. Who would have known that would, that would make you slow down and have this like very emotional, real, earnest, full experience? And I think that's a really beautiful way of thinking of things. I think it's a really great thing.
So here at a journalism school, one of the challenges that I see all the time is to try to find the technologist willing to work with a journalist. In the world of what you've just done, is the artist the technologist, or are there partnerships? And if there are, how do they find each other?
We definitely have both. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that I've seen is that people who start out being passionate about, for example, watercolor or oil painting, somehow see something cool going on with technology in the visual realm or with making, putting together electronics, lights. And for some reason, their imagination is captured by this. And so then they say, I'm going to go and figure out how to learn about this. And now we have more and more organizations that are helping people learn technology. There are some great commercial endeavors that are letting people learn how to code so that they can follow that from a career perspective. Places like, Code Academy is an example. I don't want to sort of pick any favorites. And then there are wonderful organizations like Girls Who Code, Girl Develop It, Script Ed, and Code Liberation, where people can go in and even take classes for free. And then there are these hacker labs. So often you see artists who have somehow sort of caught on to the fact that technology could enable them to create their art. Mm-hmm. And so then they learn. This is something that I love.
So it's more the artist becoming the technologist than the artist partnering with the technologist.
Well, that's the thing that I just said is A.
Oh, that's A, okay.
B is you have people who are computer scientists who have been problem sets and math since birth, and somewhere along the line they start to get a little bit bored and they say this is too dry, or maybe I want to meet some more vivacious people or something like that, and they get into art, right? I'm not trying to stereotype here, but yes, right? And so I want more passion. I want to hang out with people who have nose rings or whatever, tattoos. Like, let's get out of the box a little.
Listen, I know
I've been studying my whole life.
Who have tattoos and nose rings.
Well, so people are veering toward the artistic and creative realm from a technology background, and people from an artistic background are veering toward this tech realm. And then, of course, you do have partnerships where you have one of one and one of the other. And guess what? When those partnerships go on for years, those people become more versed in the discipline of the other, and they themselves become both. So we really are trying, at Creative Tech Week, we're trying to get away from this notion of like, oh, there's left brain thinking and there's right brain thinking, and sort of the best stuff is made with both.
Right.
That's what we're going for.
I think people also forget that technology is literally a language, like that coding is an action. There are languages, that's what they're called. And ultimately, if you learn the vernacular of coding, you're learning a language, and then you can incorporate that into something that you're doing. And like a lot of things, it's like learning a new skill. It's like learning to speak a new language that only this one allows you to, create in a different way.
So this was the first?
So this was the first, and we have a couple days to go. We have some beautiful art installations at the Clementi Center, which is at 107 Suffolk Street, and talks and panels for the rest of the day, today, Friday, and also tomorrow, Saturday the 7th. And then we have a closing party there tomorrow night, which will be the last chance to see the installations, and then we're taking it all down on Sunday.
So then annual?
That's the plan.
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Good. Isabel, thank you so much. This is great.
Thank
Thanks
you,
for coming
Isabel.
in. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Jeff.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks so much.
Good talking to you.
Good talking to you too.
So.